Welcome, everyone. It's 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 7:30 p.m. over in Washington, D.C., where just moments ago we witnessed a major press conference between President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The topic on everyone's mind? The ongoing situation in the Middle East, specifically the war between Israel and Hamas, and the devastating situation in the Gaza Strip. Today, President Trump unveiled some bold, unorthodox ideas on what the future of Gaza might look like. Ideas that have certainly made waves both in the room and across the world. But perhaps the biggest headline? President Trump suggesting the U.S. could play a pivotal, long-term role in Gaza's future. Yes, you heard that right. He said that the United States could take a long-term ownership position in the region. Now, when asked about the possibility of U.S. troops being involved in such an ownership position, President Trump didn't fully commit, but he certainly didn't rule it out either. This is a statement that has sparked a flurry of reactions, and we have national security analyst and former Marine intelligence officer Hal Kemper here with us to break it all down. Hal, good to see you. You've heard the big news. President Trump is proposing a U.S. role in rebuilding Gaza, but without the Palestinians. In his words, the U.S. would essentially take over the region. What are your thoughts on this? Well, when I first heard it, I thought maybe he misspoke, but it quickly became clear that this was exactly what they were discussing. The U.S. would step in and take an ownership position in Gaza, almost like a U.S. territory. It's a stunning proposal, one that reminds me of what we did post-World War II in the Pacific, places like Palau, the Marshall Islands, and Micronesia. But this is entirely different. A move like this would require nearly unanimous support from the Arab world, especially countries like Jordan and Egypt. There would be a lot of diplomacy and negotiation to get to this point. Absolutely. It's a bold proposal. And we know that Trump, as a businessman, is no stranger to bold real estate decisions. But here, he's talking about potentially rebuilding Gaza, which many have compared to a demolition site. The president even suggested Palestinians have no reason to stay. He seems to believe the U.S. could offer them a new life outside Gaza. What do you think? Could this be a game changer? It's an ambitious idea, no doubt. But the reality is, many of the neighboring Arab countries haven't agreed to take in displaced Palestinians. Trump is confident, though, that they'll come around, especially with the support of key players like Saudi Arabia and Egypt. But you're right, it's all very theoretical right now. The war isn't over, and we don't yet know how the ceasefire will hold. But this plan would involve a lot of investment and political maneuvering. If it does take off, it could reshape the region. And let's talk about that. If this plan is truly on the table, we could see a major shift in U.S. foreign policy. There's been a lot of talk about Trump's past promises of reducing U.S. involvement abroad. What do you think his supporters, particularly those wary of more overseas military engagements, will think about this proposal? I think they'll be split. Some will embrace this as a bold move that cements America's influence in a key region. Others, especially those who voted for him because of his America First policies, might see this as an expansion of the U.S.'s footprint in the Middle East, something they didn't sign up for. This really opens up a new chapter in U.S. foreign policy. So, whether you're for or against it, President Trump has certainly given the world something to talk about. Will this plan move forward? We'll just have to wait and see. But one thing is for sure, the Middle East will never be the same. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to stay tuned for more updates on this developing story.